We are going to practice using the distributive property to simplify expressions, but let's just look at a really small example. We're going to look at 2 times x plus 3. So this is 2 times the quantity x plus 3. So that means we really have 2 of these, and we're going to distribute the 2 to each. So we'll have 2 times x plus 2 times 3, which is going to be 2x plus 6. So that's something simple that I'm sure you've done before. Here is another example, and it's going to be negative 6 times the quantity 3x squared plus 2x minus 4. And again, we're going to do the same thing. We have a negative 6 out here, and it's being multiplied by this quantity. And let's distribute this one in. And we're going to distribute the negative sign in as well. So we have negative 6 times 3. So we have negative 18. Then we have x squared. The negative 6 times 2, negative 12, and then the x. And then negative 6 times negative 4 is going to be positive 24. And that's our final answer for that. Example 3, we're going to have a variable out front. So we have x times the quantity 2x minus 1. And this is the same thing. We're still going to distribute the x. So we're going to have an x times a 2x. Well, there's really a 1 in front. So if you think about multiplying the coefficients, that's just 2. And if we multiply the x's, x times x, that's x squared. Right, and then we have 1x times negative 1, and that's just negative 1x, but I'm just going to write it without the coefficient of 1 because it's typically how we see it. All right, now we have another example, and we have 3x times the quantity x squared minus 4x plus 1. Again, we're distributing whatever's outside to all of the terms on the inside. So here we are multiplying the coefficients 3 times, there's a 1 here, so 3 times 1 is 3, and then we have an x times an x squared. Well, when we multiply variables, we add the exponents. So we have 3x to the third minus 12, 3 times negative 4. Then we have x times x, which is x squared. And then 3x times 1, which is simply 3x. So there's a little memory lane of how to multiply variables like that. And let's look at another example, example 5. And we have 2x times the quantity x plus 2 minus x times the quantity 3x minus 6. So here we have 2 different pieces, and we only are going to distribute what little term here is being multiplied by this parenthesis. This here from the minus sign and the negative on, that's a separate problem that we'll have to distribute. So here I have 2x times x, 2x squared, and then I have 2x times 2 plus 4x. Now here I have a negative x, and we can think about it being, or even plus a negative x. So it's the negative x that we're multiplying in. So we're going to multiply the whole thing. So I'm going to multiply a negative x to everything. So negative 1x times 3 is minus 3x squared. And negative 1x times negative 6 is plus 6x. And now we're going to go ahead and combine like terms. So I have 2 terms that have x squared in it. So I'm going to take 2x squared minus 3x squared is negative x squared. And then I have an x term and another x term. So we'll combine those together to have 10x.